Welcome back. Question number 3.
Hi, Scott. I recently left my consulting career at the beginning of this year to join my dad and uncle as a financial advisor on their team. But after about a year in the role, I'm second guessing my decisions and career choices in general. I realize I'm coming into a great situation joining my family's advisory team. However, I can't stop thinking about the long-term viability of being a financial advisor, given the development of AI and how I think it will soon be able to perform the role of an advisor just as well as a human can, if it's not able to already. Additionally, I don't find the work engaging and am not a fan of working with clients. I'm 30 years old and not afraid to make career changes and start over. But do you have any advice for someone that feels like they're not accomplishing their potential in terms of work and has concerns for the longevity of the career they're currently in?
Thanks for the question. It sounds like you're not happy. And when you're young, your benchmark is college and the kind of fantasy that work is amazing and fun that is, or the myth that is told to you by people, your university and people. And so work is work. And what I would say is you need to give work at least 1 or 2 years to see if it gets better. But if you really just are dreading work and you're there because you want to impress or you felt some pressure from your family, just have an open and honest conversation with your dad and your uncle and people you trust saying, I don't know if I like this, which makes me believe I'm not going to be very good at it. And I'm wondering if I should consider something else. And also, is there a different role within the company? In terms of, and I might be wrong here, but my sense is you're trying to backfill reasons for why you should leave. And AI is not one of them because financial advisors, to a certain extent, our tax code keeps getting more and more complicated. I'm spending more and more money on financial advice. Now, do I use my financial advisors at Goldman to come up with my stock picks and balance my portfolio? No, but I use them for tax planning, which has gotten incredibly complicated. The financial advisory services or wealth management at Goldman and JP Morgan are growing. And I think that my guess is the industry is growing because it keeps getting more complicated. Now, AI will be able to say, okay, here's how you balance a portfolio. But financial services is oftentimes basically almost like senior care in terms of finances. And those people don't want to, they want you to understand AI and they want you to give them a sense of security and they want you to figure out the estate. Yeah, most of this stuff you can probably answer with AI, but they want someone to tell them and they want someone to make recommendations. The number of accountants, accounting is being destroyed by AI, but accountants are actually growing in number because they're moving upstream into wealth planning and tax strategies and inheritance. People don't know how to do. I have no fun. I am still confused around the relationship between my money and my kids and their happiness. Do I give them money? If so, how much and when? And how do I do it tax efficiently? Who do I need as a trustee? And what are the tax implications? And, you know, these are big issues that AI can kind of give you some ideas on, but people are still going to want to meet with someone. So anyways, bottom line is I don't buy AI is going to destroy the industry, so you should get out. You got to ask yourself, is this something I could be great at? Because once you're great at something, then you start to like it. And what might be happening at your family's company is that as the low man on the totem pole, you're charging new business, which means basically calling people and asking for meetings and asking them for their money, which sucks. And it's hard, especially it sounds like you might not be an extrovert, but an introvert. So here's what you need to do. Ask yourself, is this just not the industry for me? Or is it that work is hard, especially in financial services, where the first 10 years, it's the worst job in the world. And then it slowly but surely becomes the best job in the world as you build a book of business. How much are the relationships impacting your view of work? Do you have a strained relationship with your father and your uncle where you're just better seeing them on weekends and not working with them? The dynamics of working in a family business are really thick, right? Ask them for their help. What do they think? You know, or maybe not have that kind of relationship, but get some outside advice and think to yourself, is there a different role within the company? Do I need them to change their behavior such that I'm happier? You know, or is it just not for you? And if it's just not for you, be very transparent with them and help them brainstorm with you about another career. But don't be too hard on yourself. You know, this happens a lot. That's all for this episode. If you'd like to submit a question, please email a voice recording to officehours@prop2media.com. That's officehours@prop2media.com. Or if you prefer to ask on Reddit, just post your question on the Scott Galloway subreddit, and we just might feature it in an upcoming episode. What a thrill!